The goal for many of us in our personal life is to be comfortable, whether we're talking about financially, health-wise, or mentally. And I think that is a wonderful thing. It's to be comfortable in your personal life. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that you're lazy or that you don't try to improve and go through some type of building experiences to get comfortable. But at the end of the day, most of us enjoy hanging out on a weekend and being relaxed and or comfortable. That's a very different situation than in your business, because getting comfortable in your business actually can lead to kind of a decline in productivity and profitability, and in some cases can lead in an overall decline of your business, because rather than face some of the hard things that are going on in your business, you just remain in your quote-unquote pajamas at work. So what are some of the warning signs that you may be getting comfortable in your business? One of the more obvious warning signs of being comfortable in your business is that your profit margins slowly start declining. Whereas you used to make this much kind of per unit, it's slowly going down. And the reason for that might be because your staff overhead is going up, right? And where your competitors are investing in potentially new technology so they don't need as much headcount to deliver the same result, well, you're comfortable though, and it's not as much fun to have conversations about putting in potentially new technology that could also impact your workforce in a negative way. So that's one example we see of business owners being comfortable with the current staff and the setup and not really wanting to go into that area. And so at the end of the day, their sales can flatten out, their profit margins can decline, and this will happen slow enough where it's almost imperceptible, and then all of a sudden they end up in a not good position. The second kind of warning sign of being comfortable is that you're just not looking for ways to improve your existing services or to create new services or products. You're just minding the shop. You're very comfortable coming in and going through whatever process it is you have in your business and looking at the same metrics over and over again that are always green, and not really paying a whole lot of attention to outside opportunities. That also is a big warning sign that you're getting comfortable in your business. The third thing is that you've got a leadership team that doesn't get together kind of regularly, that doesn't outline quarterly goals, that doesn't really stretch and push the envelope in the areas of trying to improve your business and think of new things to do. Your metrics, it just becomes almost automatic that everything's green and everything's great and everything's good, which, P.S., I don't have a problem with, but over a long time, if everything is great, what I would suggest is if we're in a good economy, it actually could be the economy that's masking some things that you need to be addressing versus that you're just doing awesome. So, and for those of you that have been doing awesome forever through all the economic cycles, you can quit watching now. I guess you just keep doing what you're doing. But for those of you that have gone through some economic cycles and gone through the process of being comfortable and then very uncomfortable, what we're going to say is there are always problems in your business, but let's change that to a different word. Let's say there's always opportunities in your business to improve things, to change how you're doing stuff, to outsource potentially to trusted partners, to bring in outside perspective and advisors. And so those are the types of things when I talk about being comfortable that you're not doing. The status quo is something that we're mostly familiar with, right? So being okay with the status quo is also another way of saying you're okay with being kind of comfortable where you are. I think you could talk to anyone that grew up in the late 90s going to Blockbuster and picking up videos, and then folks in today's world that stream everything on Netflix, it would be very reasonable to say that Blockbuster got very comfortable with the status quo. And we certainly don't want that to happen in our businesses. Technology continues to change how business is conducted. Workflows can be automated, outsourced, and in some cases, workflows can be eliminated entirely. So being comfortable with the status quo is really not a great thing. Again, you want to be looking outside of your business for opportunities to change how you're doing business. A great way to do that is to bring in an outside advisor or technology partner to go to events in your industry and learn about the new things that are going on. Sitting home in headquarters and going, hey, everything's great and all my metrics are green, is very much what we would consider being comfortable with the status quo. So find a group to join and push your boundaries and push back that may question you and keep you from falling into the trap of just being comfortable with the status quo. A lot of groups are reactive. And what I mean by that is they wait until there's pain. So I had a toothache and I don't brush my teeth, and the next thing you know I have a cavity and it's a little bit of pain, but I'm not actually going to go until I'm really uncomfortable, and then the doctor gives you the bad news that now we're going to have to get a whole new tooth and it's going to be a whole lot more pain than it would have been to come in and just have the cavity filled. So many businesses unfortunately will take this approach as well. Their comfort goes away slowly, but they don't actually do anything until there's a whole bunch of pain involved. And so if you're using words in your business like we're very happy with XYZ, or we're satisfied with the job that so-and-so is doing for us, do a double take and ask yourself if you're really just avoiding the uncomfortable conversation about, is this really working, and waiting until there's actual pain that has to be occurring before you'll do something with it. So I think we've all agreed getting comfortable in your business is likely something you don't want to do. So let's talk through some ideas to ensure that that doesn't happen to the extent that we have to experience pain or worse in our businesses. I think the first thing that most folks need to do to kind of get outside their comfort zone is to engage with some outside partners and advisors to review kind of your business workflows and maybe even provide you some strategy, or attend kind of a weekly CEO business group or a monthly CEO business group, and get that outside perspective. I think that's very helpful. Businesses also, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, what gets measured and managed happens, right? So change up what you're measuring at least annually. Don't just hurt your arm patting yourself on the back that all the metrics have been green forever and we don't have any problems, because the reality is business changes and what you monitor and measure should also change at some point. So change up your operating perspectives and metrics over time. Not every week. You don't chase them and change them to make them green, but if they've been green, especially for a very long time, you might want to say, hey, we've nailed this, we don't need to measure it as often, and now let's move to something else. That can be very helpful. The other piece to not getting comfortable, or a way to keep from getting comfortable, is question everything. Just because it's been done this way for however long doesn't mean that you need to keep doing it that way, especially as it relates to non-core activities. So there are many things in business where we used to do a lot of things. I can't imagine somebody running their business off, for instance, a fax machine today. So we've changed how we've done some business activities. Folks typically are not running, or shouldn't be, running email servers in-house. And now we've gone from servers to services. So any kind of non-core activities, whether it's technology-based or even in some cases people-based, really review those at least annually and see if there's an opportunity to shift how things are done. And that's an uncomfortable process to look at some of that, but I would suggest that it's way less uncomfortable than getting to the level of pain that many businesses have to get to before they'll look at that. So being comfortable is good in your personal life. In your business, not so much. Planning is always more fun when you're in a place of comfort, step one. So plan and do these things that we're talking about while you're comfortable. Waiting until there's pain is too late, and now you're reactive, and that is absolutely no fun. So don't get comfortable in your business. Engage with trusted partners and advisors to help you out, and ensure that you never wear your pajamas to work.